Hi guys, I have a special guest joining me today. He's back. He was really tired this morning, but he's agreed to be here, so that's great. The dogs next door are going off as usual, and Chai is looking at me to see whether I'm going to deal with it. Quiet, good girl. Come.
I'm building a cupboard because this is how storage is done in Vietnam. It's with these plastic cupboard things, and then you self-IKEA it.
It's like an IKEA flat pack, but it's not made from wood. And you don't really need any tools, do you?
No, it's just slot in.
This was the one which you can see over here that Peter ordered the other day. And because I told him I didn't like this pull-out style, which he'll show you in a bit. So those ones are 2 doors. And then Chai just ran, and I feel like I pulled my back a little bit because she ran away from me and I tried to grab her. So that's why I'm touching my back. I just pull my back very easily with all these small things. Yes, so Peter was originally happy with this, but then after a while, I think he looked at the color. You guys can't really tell, but this one is like a dirty cream, I want to say. And this one is more of a white color, which I think it actually matches this other one that we have in the corner.
Slight brown.
Much nicer.
It's a creamy beige brown, whereas this is a piss beige orange.
That is a very good way to describe it. And I'm not sure if you guys can see the orange handles. They look like...
They look interesting.
The mango ice cream.
They're an interesting
color.
design choice.
Interesting design choice. Peter means they look like shit.
The Chinese manufacturer factory that made this interesting design choice for piss yellow.
This is the color that a lot of plastic actually turns in Vietnam after it's been sitting out for too long. You know, like a really old air conditioning unit, and how it starts white, then it starts to yellow. Kind of feels a bit like this. Yeah. Chai, come here. She's back. My little baby. Here she is. Yeah. So, I have more things that I would like to talk about today that I have noted down so I don't forget, because I have these random thoughts throughout the day. I'm like, oh, I should mention that in my vlog today. But if I don't write it down, I literally forget. So actually, the first one before we get started, someone asked about finasteride and something to do with sex drive going down. But I think you explained it to me last time.
So there's
So what is finasteride first?
Finasteride is a medicine that stops male baldness, stops you from losing hair. It works better on men than women, but it still does work for women, but they have to take it at 2-3 times the dosage because different body types, different people. The rumor is that taking finasteride decreases sex drive, but I have a theory that the decreased sex drive is not from the finasteride, but it's from age, as in getting older. Because, what do you call it, a false positive, false correlation? Because the type of people who take finasteride are older. Because baldness, losing hair, usually happens when you're older. So it's kind of what is it? Ice cream kills people. What is it? Ice cream results in more shark attacks or something.
Yeah, so when ice cream sales go up, shark attacks also go up. So some people, it's like the clearest example of ice cream sales increasing obviously does not increase shark attacks, but they both go up at the same time because obviously it's summer, more people are in the water.
Yes.
So Peter is saying with the finasteride, because you said it's anecdotal, there's no actual research.
It's anecdotal.
It's an anecdotal side effect of taking the medication, and there's no actual research that actually says that finasteride decreases sex drive. So yes. Peter's saying that people who are older are... When you get older, you start to lose hair, and that's when people generally start to take finasteride, which is also when their sex drive starts to decrease.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It's also very similar.
This is not locked in.
It can't be locked in. You just have to. It's only locked in by the thing on top, so it's kind of a bit weird.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's also similar to, what is it? Is it Accutane, which is a medicine that you take for
acne,
acne,
which I'm currently taking.
one of the side effects is suicidal thoughts.
Oh, yes.
But my running theory is that if your acne is so bad that you have to go to a specialist doctor, a dermatologist, to get a prescription for it, most of the time, usually there's a higher likelihood of thoughts of suicide. I think the symptom is technically thoughts of suicide or something. Suicidal thoughts.
Because you are, what is it? You said something about you're concerned about how you look. You're not happy.
Well, if you go into a doctor, you're unhappy about something. And being unhappy about acne is a very normal thing. So having it be unhappy enough that you have suicidal thoughts is pretty, I wouldn't say it's out of the realms of possibility.
He's really smart and he's really logical, which is helpful a lot of the times, but also means sometimes he's too logical. And if something cannot be explained through pure logic immediately, this is where we can have clashes. Okay, so that question is answered. On to the next one. I was explaining the other day that we bathe Chai in the evening before we sleep, and someone asked, why don't we simply bathe her in the morning? Which is like such a valid question, but it is a lot more complex than that. So firstly, I am not a morning person.
Oh, well, the answer is just we don't have time in the morning.
It's more complex than that.
How's it more complex?
Secondly, we usually go to gym in the morning. Now, one may ask, why do we go to gym in the morning? Why can't we just go in the evening? Because, well, there's a few things. Apparently, gymming late at night is not good because, like, you're, I guess, stimulated and then you can't sleep as well. Apparently, but that's not the reason. I heard that one recently. I'm like, oh, I'm doing it right according to new science. But the main reason is I have to take my ADHD meds to gym. If not, I have a lot of injury because I literally, as hard as I try, I don't pay attention at gym sometimes, which can lead to a lot of injury because I'm like mindlessly gymming. So I'm just like pushing weights and not really focused on what I'm doing. And because I have to take the ADHD meds when I gym, the ADHD meds, it's kind of, it's a stimulant. So it's like, I guess a stronger form of like coffee. Guys, don't quote me on any of this, but I'm just trying to give examples to explain. So if I take it too late, it's going to disrupt my sleep, and like consistent sleep is really important to managing my ADHD. And I think so is exercise. But yeah, so that's kind of why there's not really much time to do things in the morning, because I need to go to gym, because if I don't go to gym, I'm really like, I would say dysregulated, very ADHD, my mood's all over the place and things like that. So gym is really important for me. Because it's the only source of exercise I really get. You guys can probably see that I'm like waving around like what are those things in the car park? The balloon things where the arms go
balloon
like,
guy.
The balloon guy, because my back's a bit uncomfortable at the moment, so I'm just moving it to help. Yeah, but this is not uncommon for me. So there's a lot of unrelated things that I just added in, I realize, when I'm talking right now. Mm-hmm. But essentially, Chai gets bathed in the evening because
that's the only time that we have time.
Because of the whole host of reasons I just explained. She could get bathed on the weekend, but I don't have to shower twice. And I either shower in the morning after gym, which there's not enough time to bathe her then before work starts, or to shower her at night. Which the other day, 6 p.m., 6:30 was going to be a fantastic time to shower her. But that whole late dinner situation happened, and as a result, she was showered late. But she smells like the freshest, softest little baby.
For now.
Until a few more days. Yeah, she does.
She's starting to smell like doggy dog.
So I'll probably bathe her on Friday or Saturday. The next thing that I wanted to share was yesterday I was telling you guys about, there's all these small design decisions, like what size the tag is, what color's the paper, what do you print on it. So that I found it really funny that I shared that. Then today I was working with the designer again, and he came in with literally like I want to say probably like 200 different paper types. He went to the paper shop and they have like the samples, which, you know, when you pick curtains, it's probably the best way I can choose, or like sofas, and they have all those swatches of different fabrics for you. It was like that, but paper, and there was like 200 different choices, and he's like, we need to pick the type of paper we want to print on. I was like, oh my goodness, this is something I never even thought about. I just assumed like there's cardboard, and cardboard is cardboard, and we'd print on cardboard. But that's what I had to do this morning. But we didn't take too long. We were pretty quick about it, which I really like working with this designer. We just kind of pick a few that we like, and I think we had a chat really early on. The main thing is to just keep moving. Last time Peter was at immigration, waiting in line to clear immigration, and he was somehow started talking to this guy when I was in the toilet. But that guy runs like a product business as well. He makes like some specialized ski bag.
I think ski bag
or
something.
And his piece of advice to Peter was get your first product out as soon as possible. And everything that I've kind of heard from friends, read, and I guess this guy's piece of advice as well is like, just move fast, make it exist first, you can make it good later. Because if you just try to make it perfect to start with, you're gonna take forever and you're never gonna get anything out.
Yeah, you don't know what's perfect until you put out your first product, and your first product won't be perfect, it'll be terrible, but that's how it gets better. That's why the first iPhone you heard about was not iPhone 1, it was iPhone 3. That's the one that became big and popular and grew Apple.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Not iPhone 1, iPhone 3.
iPhone 3. Yeah, and then I kind of realized today that I think having worked for many years and then saved all my money, I have a certain level of financial comfort already. That means like I can take risks to run my own business, but at the same time, it's like in order to succeed, I kind of need to put that financial comfort at risk. So now I feel like I'm stuck in a strange place where I don't have the drive to go out there and do something really risky, which is what you need to be like, I guess, really successful or to make lots of money. Let's say that's the objective. But right now I just feel comfortable, but also frustrated at myself that I feel comfortable.
It's scary to spend money with a like 70% chance of losing it.
Which is a lot of business.
Which is everyone who runs a business. Everyone runs into that, but it's so scary, I don't know how.
But
how do you get past that hurdle?
That, if anyone has any advice, that would be, I would love to hear. But does that make sense to you? I'm frustrated that I don't have the willingness to take the risk that I know I kind of need to take in order to be successful, because part of me is trying to protect the level of comfort and security that we have now. Which brings me to the last thing on my notes list for today, which is I read somewhere, I think it was a reel or a meme that I read on Instagram, but it says the difference between we have an idea and we did it is about 20,000 hours of hard work that nobody wants to talk about and that most people don't want to do. And it was a reality check for me. I realized, oh shit, that is so true. It's like so easy to have an idea, but in order to execute on it, for example, like this clothing brand, coming back again, that's the example I have at the top of my mind, but there's all these really small little things that you don't realize you need to make decisions on, which takes effort, time. Like we need to go down to find the supplier to print samples, approve the samples, we print on different types of paper. And this is just for like literally one component of this clothing brand. We haven't even gotten to designing the clothing, getting fabrics and all that. So it's just kind of crazy how many hours are actually involved in making anything happen. And I was telling Peter this same similar point this morning. I was telling him the production, some of the production stuff that we did, like we just filmed a vlog going to do pottery with Joel and Dan. I had to organize that. So I had to like plan the day, figure out like, okay, we need a camera person, and then like book the place we're going to go, plan what we're going to do. And obviously if you're paying for a camera person, you're like, okay, we better do more that day to get the use out of them. What are they going to film? What are the moments? What are the stories? All of those things. But that probably took me like, I want to say 2 weeks to a month of effort. But if I just describe it to you, we filmed a vlog of the 4 of us going out into the city in Ho Chi Minh for a day. It sounds like a pretty chill idea that you can maybe organize in 1-2 days. It does not take 1-2 days to organize. And that is the same with, I think, most things in life that people try to do. It's really easy to have the idea, and especially someone with ADHD, I get a lot of dopamine thinking about the idea, but then once it's time to execute and it's like you have to take the next step and the next step and the next step, and some of these steps are not the most fun to do. Like for the clothing brand, Peter is going to help me file the trademark for us, and I was just like, holy shit, I'm so glad I don't have to do that. And that is just like one of many things. So now I kind of understand more and more why people co-found things with other people, because you split the workload, but at the same time, yes, you have someone else who you have to agree with to make decisions, but you split the workload and there's someone to keep you going when you might not otherwise want to keep going. Like working with Peter, there are a lot of times where I think either of us wants to give up, but because the other one's still there working through it, we just have to keep going. Okay, can you please stop making love to your cupboard?
No, this is my baby. I gave birth to my baby on camera.
That looks like 50 times better than the other one.
This is, the orange one is the result of asking for Techie's opinion, even though I hated it. I was like, this is kind of ugly, but okay. Techie says he likes that door design. Okay, it might work.
And then Peter, being such a loving boyfriend, he opened it and I was like, you should have checked the color first. We could have refunded it and returned it, but he just built the whole thing. And then now I guess we're gonna stick that inside the cupboard because this really old house is not the best design. It does not have good storage options. So even like if you open this cupboard, there's like one railing and it's that tall and you can't hang anything in it. So
we can use it for like props and stuff outside because we have that box that's falling apart.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Do you just tape everything?
No, I didn't tape everything.
There's two magnetic doors is not going to fix the box.
That just, when the box is too full, it pushes the magnets open. So I put a stick to stop it from being able to be pushed open by the other stuff. So I think it's solved. The problem is solved.
I feel like we should just put a box there instead of that wardrobe thing.
We could. That's very possible. The wardrobe, the current box that I was using was like a broken piece from another, a piece of like this kind of cupboards. And then one of the pieces was broken, so they sent me another one. But it still kind of worked as a box. I was like, what's the point in throwing it out? But it is pretty like ugly and not functional. You guys can probably tell this is how we live our life. Peter wants to throw this shit out, and I'm just like, but it kind of has a purpose and serves a function, right?
We don't waste, we reuse.
We reuse.
Reuse, recycle, reduce.
Reduce?
No, wait.
No.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
I wonder if that's just an Australian thing that we learn in primary school.
I don't think so.
No, okay. And then the last thing that I learned today, talking to the designer, which I haven't told you about, you know how I only wear certain types of clothing and I think I hate everything else? I realized it's because it helped me come to this realization that the clothes that we bought last time to try, for example, like polo tees, because the fit and the material is so bad quality, we just assume that we don't like polos. Whereas...
No, I think polos are just ugly. I hate the thing.
Oh,
but
well,
you.
Yes.
Assume you...
Oh, like polos. Shirts, for example. Because the fit, the material is really bad, so I just don't like them. And then I was attributing that I hated the design of the clothing and like the style because I had such a bad experience with it, which I didn't realize. So I was generalizing my hate for shirts to...
Like business shirts?
Any shirts. To just all shirts, because the ones that I've previously worn have not been comfortable or the right material. And that's why I hate them.
Yes, that's what you've told us.
No, as in, how do I explain it? My
I
perception.
remember your biggest gripe is that you hate the materials, and you're saying, I hate the material. I'm like, yeah, I think you've told us this.
Yes, but I just assumed I hate all shirts. But I actually just hate shirts of a certain material that are not designed well. Does that make sense? So what the designer's telling me is I don't necessarily hate, he doesn't think I'm going to hate all shirts. It's just the type of shirts that I've been buying have all been the same type of material and the same type of fit. Which was like mind-blowing to me because I think I'm so used to thinking about comfort of clothing in a certain way that I only see a certain category, which is sportswear, as comfortable. But that's not necessarily true. There can be other comfortable clothing so long as it's designed well and of the right material. Does that make sense at all or not?
So you're saying if it's comfortable, then you like it because it's comfortable.
Yeah, kind of, but anything can be comfortable.
Yeah.
But previously I'm like, all shirts are freaking terrible. I'm never going to wear any shirts again.
Oh, interesting.
So I kind of took my
That's the reason
opinion
why you like
and-
singlets, because it's half a shirt. It's not even a full shirt. There's no
and they're
sleeves.
always going to be comfortable. It's like almost impossible for them to be uncomfortable because there's,
I've worn very tight singlets.
there's clothes Yes, the singlets that you have in your cupboard, on the rack, I want to get rid of them. They're like so small. They're size small. We bought them like
There's not enough singlets.
3 years ago. I went and bought you a whole bunch of more singlets.
He bought a whole bunch of these singlets, and then they have a nip slip. It's like, whoa, nip slip.
No, I got you the ones that don't
And
have
then
the
when
nip
we're
slip.
going in public, going to the mall, and it's like, whoop, nip slip. Oh, there's grammars and kids I should hide.
You know what's really funny? There was a nip slip yesterday in yesterday's vlog. I was watching it back whilst I was
This is not
editing it.
presentable. This is not it.
It's very comfortable, guys, and that is the
This
whole.
is not it. This will not be in the
vibe.
collection. This is terrible. No nip slips with the your clothing brand.
Okay, no nip
No
slips.
nip slips. That's not
guess so.
that's not right. Hide that. Hide that. There's a time and place for everything, and that's not a time for a nip slip.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to discuss, which I'm not sure if I've told you before, is Vietnamese people, when they eat prawns, they generally do not peel them. They cook the whole prawn.
Extra keratin.
And it's like freaking crispy. But prawn have these like really pointy thing. So this dinner was fine because we air fried it, so it was extra crispy. But lunch, I'm always like feel like the head of the
whiskers?
prawn, the whiskers are like poking me,
So-
and it's so hard to eat. So can we explain what we ate for lunch and dinner? What did your mum cook? I don't even know
So
what it
she
is.
basically made, if you know what a Vietnamese pancake is, it's basically
It's like a cream
flour
pancake.
/ cornstarch with, I guess, beer, and then a mixture of like a few spices, and they put in green onions, prawn, and then they fry it. It's like a savory pancake. And that's what we ate. It's called bánh tôm.
And prawn, but asterisk on the prawn. Prawns with all their shells and feet and head still attached. So when you're eating it, it's just really pokey. So
It adds texture.
So you know how today you were like,
I love it.
Do you want to
Free
go out for
texture.
dinner with your parents? And I said yes immediately. That is a big part of the reason because I knew if I stayed in, I have to eat that thing again.
No, you don't. There's a lot of food. I just did it because it's easy.
But it was fine now because we super air fried it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it was super
it's-
crispy. So it was
Yes.
completely fine.
My parents did not cook it enough.
Yeah.
My mum did not cook it exactly correctly. If I was to cook it, I would half cut the head to get all the super spiky bits off.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
I would make the pancake thinner so that when you fry it, the shells can fry enough, because things like the exoskeleton of the prawns are edible if they are fried.
If they're fried enough. If not,
If
they
they
just
are
kind of
fried.
like stick to your tongue and then you just like that.
Yes, Vietnamese people eat it when it's fried. They do not eat it when it's boiled. And
It's taken me a
or
while to
steamed.
get used to this Vietnamese
It's
food.
extra keratin.
It is. I
Everyone
must
could
say,
use keratin in their diet.
it has a lot of like probably good health properties, good for my hair. Look how lush my hair and my nails look now. Which brings me to yesterday's soup.
Oh, that's,
The soup had fish bones in
that was
it.
terrible. So it's called ganjua, which is sweet sour soup, fish soup. And my mum made it with fish bones, which is fine. You can make stock with fish bones. She did not strain it.
And
Excuse me?
And then she puts all these vegetables in, cabbages. And it's very hard to tell the difference between a cabbage stem
And a fish bone.
And a fish
And a very
bone.
thin, invisible fish bone.
We
'Cause the
love the
fish-
food that Peter's mum makes.
She
but
skips a lot of steps.
She skips steps.
Maybe I was thinking we should buy her a strainer. Because the fish stock was fine. It's just you need
delicious.
to strain it
Delicious.
before you feed it to people. They can stab themselves in the mouth.
Did I tell you about my uncle?
I was the test person. I did the first bowl and I ate and I'm like, what is that? Why is it hard? Why is there a bone in this soup? She said, oh,
There's no fish or something.
Yes. Initially she said, just drink the soup.
So the issue is
eat. I'm like, okay, sure. Why is there now cabbage and tomato and all these other ingredients in if you're not supposed to eat?
The issue is not the fish bones in the soup. It's the fact that when I asked, your dad was like, "There's no fish in it," and gave me the what is it? The perspective or like the impression that I could just eat everything and not have to be
I also
careful.
thought that.
And then recently, the last trip we had with my parents, my mum suddenly randomly came up to me when we were crossing the road and she's like, oh, you know your uncle got hospitalized? I'm like, for what? And then she's like, he ate fish and the bone went down his throat and got stuck and he didn't realize until 3 days later when he had a high fever, they couldn't figure out why, and in the end, they took him to x-ray and they found the bone stuck, which is causing sepsis, which is like infection. So now that's why I'm super scared of fish. So every time I put a mouthful in my mouth, I'm literally like chewing it, and my mouth wants to swallow, but I'm like, no bitch, keep chewing it until like everything's a pulp and you're guaranteed there's no bones. So that's what happened to me yesterday.
Side tangent. My ex also had a fish stuck in his throat for like 2-3 days.
Oh yeah, is this
I
before
had
your
to deal with
Tasmania
it.
trip?
Yeah.
This was before.
You remember?
Yes. Let me recount the story. So Peter was in a throuple with like one of my now best friends, who's now Peter's ex-husband's current boyfriend, and then they were going to a trip to Tasmania, which Peter had an awful trip because this was when his ex-husband had just gotten his new boyfriend. So they were kind of doing a throuple, and then just before that trip, they literally had to go to the emergency department. How long was he in there for?
No, that's different.
That's different?
That he was sick.
Oh.
That one he was sick.
There's a
The
difference
fish bone
in it?
was like a year before that or something.
Oh, what did you have to do? I'm recounting.
I don't know.
wrong
This is the first
emergency.
time I ever heard about someone getting a fish stuck in their throat. And I've eaten I actually avoid fish because I hate bones.
Agreed.
But, so he tried, you get a bowl of rice and then you scrunch it up and then you swallow it to try and like knock
Dislodge,
it all
yes.
down. Did not work for like a day or two, and then I think it magically fixed itself. Maybe it's still there.
That's what your dad said. It just dislodged. His one. Your dad had it recently, and then it dislodged.
Your throat muscles have protection mechanisms for that kind of stuff.
Thank goodness I didn't know that. But anyway, I'm traumatized. Any time I think I have to go to the hospital or I'm sick or something, I just like I literally start spiraling in my head. I think that's one thing you made me realize recently. I spiral a lot. More than I realized. I'm a panicker.
Both of us spiral, yes.
But I didn't realize I spiral. I thought I was the most like mentally sane and stable person in the
You
world.
thought you were perfect, an angel.
And then maybe it's your spiraling and your insanity that's rubbing off on me.
I have enough to go around.
He does. He does.
I'm very selfless. I like to share.
I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being my special guest.
No, this is the special guest.
Okay, he wants to
You need
show
to give it a name.
Alfred.
No, Edward.
Alfred.
Edward.
It reminds me of the Batman. The Batman is Batman's butler called Alfred.
Yes, Alfred Pennyworth.
And what's the clown called?
Joker?
No, the Pennyworth or something. The one that
From It.
From
I don't know. I've
So
never watched it.
maybe Batman's Butler is actually the clown in the drain.
No, the clown is an interdimensional entity.
Is it? I don't know. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. You'll see me. You might see him, depending how he's feeling.
For day 5
Oh, this is
of
day
the
6?
100
No.
day 6 of the 100 day
This is day 6.
challenge.
Tomorrow is day 7? 7. Tomorrow is already day 7. It's been a week. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.